Mm-hmm. 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 I'm tired of the lies they spin. They're feeding us poison. Where do I begin? Every headline feels like a sin. Oh, it's a game we're stuck in, can't win. Barack signed the papers, gave them the key. NDAA took our truth, can't you see? Smithman's shadow, it's haunting me. Propaganda flows like a dark raging sea. They twist the words, make us blind. Realities are lost in their cruel grind. Who's telling the truth? Man, it's hard to find. In this media maze, we're all confined. We're rising up, can't take no more. Truth on our lips, it's time to roar. No more shadows, we'll break free. With every heartbeat, we'll make them see. Together we'll stand united and bold. No more lies, let the story be told. In this fight for truth, we'll find our way. We'll light the dark, bring a brand new day. I'm screaming loud, but no one hears. Drowning in cycles of our own fears. The truth's a ghost, shedding bitter tears. Oh, the anger rises, it's been years. So I'll sing my blues, let the world know. Fight for the truth, let the fire grow. We're breaking the chains, it's time to show. We won't be silenced, we'll steal the show. In the silence, hear the cries, voices echo, breaking tide. Every tear, a story untold. In the ashes, we rise bold. No more whispers, we'll shout loud. Together strong, we're a fierce crowd. With every step, we take the stand, fighting for truth. Hand in hand, let the walls shake, let the truth ring. We'll write the lyrics, let freedom sing. From the shadows, we'll break away. In this moment, we'll seize the day. We're rising up, can't take no more. Truth on our lips, it's time to roar. No more shadows, we'll break free. With every heartbeat, we'll make them see. Together we'll stand united and bold. No more lies, let the story be told. In this fight for truth, we'll find our way. We'll light the dark, bring a brand new day. I stood at the gates with nothing to bring. No medals to wear, no songs left to sing. No list of good deeds I could hold in my hand. Just a lifetime of trying to understand. St. Peter looked kindly and asked me why. I said I could come. The man in the middle said I belong. Not because I earned it, not because I won. The man in the middle said I could come. I remembered my failures, remembered my fears, the mistakes and regrets I carried for years. The times I stumbled, the times I fell, the prayers I whispered when life wasn't well. and all of my worries just faded away. The man in the middle said I could come. The man in the middle said I belong. Not because I earned it, not because I won. The man in the middle said I could come. He hung between two broken men, showing mercy right until the end. One turned away, one chose to believe, and grace was all he'd ever need. The man in the middle said I could come. The man in the middle said I belong. No crown of glory, no perfect song, just faith in the one who carried me along. The man in the middle said I could come. The man in the middle said I belong. No crown of glory, no perfect song, just faith in the one who carried me along. The man in the middle said I could come. The man in the middle said I belong. Not because I earned it, not because I won. The man in the middle said I could come. And if someday someone asks me, why are you here? I won't say, because I was good enough. I won't say, because I earned my place. I'll simply smile and say, the man in the middle said I could come. What's right now? Hey, 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 hey. What's right now? You walk in the room with a smile on your face, but your mind's racing all over the place. Got 1,000 things running through your head, and you know you ought to slow it down instead. Well, don't just grab the first jar you see. There's a little bit of science to the TAC. Take a minute, breathe, don't rush somehow. Ask yourself what's right now. Do you need to chill? That's nice and deep. Do you need a snack? Do you need a grin? Let's figure out where to begin. What's right now? What's your body say? Hey. Are you winding down at the end of the day? Hey. Know the lights if you're ready for bed. Bubba Kush if your battery's dead. Dos when the aches hang around. Blue cheese if you're still moving around. Hey. Everybody's different somehow. So what's right now? Ooh. Know the light says turn down the speed. Let your busy little brain be free. Tie an Afghani on a sleepy ride, like a warm blanket by your side. Then Bubba Kush walks through the door, says, buddy, you ain't working anymore. It's the melt into the couch parade. Cancel your chores that you already made. Need some comfort, need some peace. Need those busy thoughts to cease. Don't overthink, don't wear a frown. Listen when your body's talking now. What's right now? What's your body say? Are you winding down at the end of the day? Northern Lights if you're ready for bed. Bubba Kush if your battery's dead. Dos when the aches hang around. Blue cheese if you're still moving around. Hey, everybody's different somehow. So what's right now? Do-si-do says I got your back when your muscles start to crack. Blue cheese says grab a little bite, but still keep dancing through the night. Slow reaction, dry mouth too. Keep some water close to you. If your heart starts racing fast, take it easy, let it pass. Everybody's chemistry works a little differently. What's right now? Listen to yourself. Not every jar belongs on everybody's shelf. Some are sleepy, some are light, some are daytime, some are night. Take it slow and you'll find out how to choose what's right now. What's right now? Oh, what's right now? What's right now? Hey, everybody's different somehow. So, what's right now? Hey, ask your body what's right now. Hey. You see an old man standing here, trying to help his fellow man. A little gray around the edges, coffee cup held in his hand. You hear me talk about kindness, you hear me talk about grace, but you don't know the battles that are written on my face. Everybody sees the ending, but they never saw the storm. The little boy that learned too early, this world can be cruel and torn. Don't mistake my peace for a life without pain. I had every reason to become the same. You really don't want the prequel of my story, the chapters before these pages turn. I walk through a darkness no child should ever learn, but evil didn't own me and hatred didn't win. I chose another pathway instead of giving in. You broke the boy, but you didn't break the man. And by the grace of God, I'm still standing where I am. I know what monsters look like. I've seen the damage they can do. That's why I fight so hard today to protect the innocent and true. That's why I share their pictures. That's why I speak their names. Because every child is sacred, and no child should wear those chains. I know how silence grows and how predators survive. So I keep my eyes wide open as long as I'm alive. Don't mistake my peace for a life without battles. I know what darkness builds when good men stay quiet. You really don't want the prequel of my story. Oh, the chapters before these pages turn. Oh, I walk through a darkness no child should ever learn, but evil didn't own me and hatred didn't win. I chose another pathway instead of giving in. You broke the still standing where I am. I am not kind because life was kind to me. I am kind because I know what happens when pain is left unchecked. I know what darkness can create if we don't choose another path. So I choose to protect. I choose to speak. I choose to love. I choose to fight for those who cannot fight for themselves. You really don't want the prequel of my story. But maybe that's the reason I'm here, to make sure another child never has to carry that fear. My past may explain me, but it will never own me, because evil met a child once, and decades later it found a man who refused to become it. You broke the boy, but you didn't break the man, and you never turned him into you.
Well, good morning. Yeah. I didn't come on yesterday because I was stuck in my own head. I get there sometimes. Hashing through things and working things out. Finding a peace, finding a spirit, finding something to rest upon. Hence the name of today's podcast is, why do political battles dominate the news while children wait to be found? Distractions. When the bullshit that CNN, NBC, ABC, CBS, MSNBC, even Fox. Why? Why does it take guys like me, girls like those that are out there, to continuously throw it on the table so it can't be ignored? Why does it take that? Why does it take that? And it's there's a lot there, a whole lot there, a lot more than we would think. So missing child recovery operations are going on. They're succeeding, well, kind of quietly. Massachusetts is not an isolated example. Across multiple states this year, coordinated efforts between the U.S. Marshals, state police, and local agencies have recovered a lot of endangered children. And these operations continue to rarely dominate national headlines, despite their impact. And it's just it's disappointing in many ways, shapes, or forms. The federal agencies continue to stress that trafficking victims are found in ordinary American communities, hotels, agriculture, restaurants, domestic labor, and then the online exploitation networks. so many people imagine trafficking as a border only issue, but you know, through all of these investigations, you know, well, they say that it occurs nationwide, and we know it does. We know it does. Yeah. But the biggest one is that law enforcement is saying that online predators are adapting faster than uh, many parents even think about. Colorado investigators reported that offenders increasingly using gaming platforms, messaging apps, and social media to initiate contact with the kids. And you know, I look at it and I say it. You know, authorities they need additional research and resources. They need researchers and resources because of the volume of the cases. And you know, if we go back years, if we know that you know anywhere between 700 to 700,000 to a million children go missing in the United States every single year. I think that it's a conversation that needs to be had. You know, the conversation about digital safety, um, not in the fear sense, but in the sense that um, educating parents about what to watch for, and it's going to be a very big uphill battle. You know, so the questions that we want to ask, and I made a list of them. You know, why do child recovery operations receive less coverage than political fights? You know, is the biggest one. You know, because we're seeing all this stuff going on in Washington. We're watching the Senate and the House do some of the stupidest things that we've probably seen in all of our lifetimes. You know, and it is ridiculous. You know. Then the second question is, what role can ordinary citizens safely play? Well, eyes open. You know, and then the other part is in and I talked about this a couple of days ago is about verifying information before sharing is so important because some of these kids have been recovered. And maybe it's not a good idea to be plastering them all over the place when they have been recovered, um, because then it places the child in a uh, situation where people are looking for them after they're found and can create problems with the people who are trying to help these children get back to some kind of a life. And then the next one is how can parents better monitor online activity without creating fear? You know, with that, it's maybe children should be fearful of the internet. Maybe they should be because you never know what's on the other side. You know, and then we got to go on to what resources can communities invest in to protect children. Well, right now our communities are so shattered that they can't decide where their money should go. They can't decide whether they actually give a shit as to whether these children are recovered. They really don't give a shit that the family is going through a horrific situation, and it's not it's not conducive to to their surroundings. Um, because people will use it for political upheaval instead of um, somebody just pulled out on the highway in front of one of them gravel trucks, and that's not good. Waiting to hear a bang. It's it's these drivers on this road today are just absolutely incredible. There's already been 3 accidents just outside the farm itself, that are just absolutely crazy. Well, let's go on to number 6. Was how do we keep attention on victims after headlines disappear? And that's part of it. You know, that when a child is in fact listed, that if okay, so Savannah Guthrie's mother went missing, right? And it was all over the news for weeks upon weeks upon weeks. If I'm not mistaken, it was like 3 months. That woman was plastered everywhere. But they can't talk about the missing kids. They can't talk about new missing kids, and they can't talk about recovered missing kids. Yeah, you know. And then the next part is the more difficult one, okay? Where we have to understand the difference between missing, lost contact, and confirmed trafficking victims. Okay. Now, the thing is you would have to list that in categories, okay? Because some of the trafficking is for agricultural. Some of the trafficking is for slave labor in sweatshop type circumstances. And then you've got the sexual trafficking. And the thing is the ages of those involved in the sexual trafficking varies anywhere between, you know, a baby to, a full grown man or woman. And then the biggest topic of all is how do we encourage action without spreading misinformation? That's a big one because of, like I said, we see the posts, we want to share them. So the one thing that I've been doing is every time one of those Amber Alerts or one of the rescue organizations is posting something, before I share it, the first thing I do is I look up to find out whether or not the child has been recovered already. And in most cases, you can go to Google, you can go to DuckDuckGo, you can go to many of those. But there's an organization that deals with missing and exploited children, and it's called Missing and Exploited Children. And you can look on their website, and it generally gives you the information up to date as to whether the individual or the child has been recovered in that period of time. So it's important that we pay attention. Okay, so we don't have to become investigators, but we can be attentive. All right, share verified alerts, pay attention to our communities, keep our eyes wide open, and we might think it's a small thing, but sometimes that extra set of eyes is exactly what helps bring a child home. And that is, I guess that's the end of my rant. I guess but that's what I planned on ranting about this morning. And I've done that. And we can get on to a whole bunch of other things. It's kind of crazy, but we're going to are we going to lose our minds in the process? That's crazy, absolutely crazy. And so I hope everybody's having a good day. I hope you guys started your day off right. And after all that talk, I need to have a safety meeting. Yeah, I do. I just, I just, yeah, I need to have a safety meeting. I do. Can you hold it against me? Of course you can. But that's not gonna, um, it's not gonna stop things.
Monday morning coffee just isn't the same. All the protests in the world are making it lame. Well, I found the cure to that. It's green and marijuana is its name. Feeling kinda low, it could chase away your shame. Sunshine on my face, dancing in the rain. Friends gather round, let's forget the pain. Rolling up a vibe, let's ignite the flame. Laughing like a wild, nothing feels the same. Green dreams, we're living in a game. Life's a celebration, we're calling your name. Feel the rhythm flow, we'll never be tame. In this crazy world, love is our aim. Oh, 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 hey, oh, 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 hey, oh. Monday morning coffee just isn't the same. All the protests in the world are making it late. Well, I found the cure to that. It's green and marijuana is its name. In the rhythm of the night, we'll dance without blame. So let the music play. Let's ride this train. Every single laugh, every drop of rain. In the joy of now, we'll never feel shame. With a little green magic, we'll light up the game. So let's take a moment, breathe in the air. Forget all the worries, leave behind despair. With every heartbeat, let the good vibes flow. In this dance of freedom, we'll let our spirits glow. No more looking back, just the laughter we share. In a world full of chaos, we'll find our own flair. Raise a bond to the night, let's get toasted and see dreams. With love in our hearts, we'll be bursting at the seams. Green, green dream, we're living in a game. Life's a celebration, we're calling your name. Feel the rhythm flow, we'll never be tame. In this crazy world, love is our aim. Oh, 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 yeah. Oh, 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 yeah. Oh, 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 yeah.
And that gave me just enough time to make a pot of coffee as well. And that was my primary. Yeah, that's what I'm doing. I am making medicated coffee. All right, let's get into this. Let's see. As a matter of fact, let's start right here. You guys remember this one? Oh, let me take the banner down.
According to my research, which will very soon be revealed next week, they've rescued so far 35,000 tender age kids. How you like that? Now, according to Ms. Hopper's research, which I find fascinating, everybody up here should, 70% of the documentation turned in by so-called sponsors, which were lined up by who? The NGOs. Through who? Primarily HHS. It was a pipeline, man. We fed a pipeline of tender age children into sex trafficking and slave labor into our country. We're finding these kids. We're tracking this fraudulent documents. You're right, Ms. Hopper. My research showed a little bit less, 65%. You said 70%. I'll go with 70. So be advised. Be advised. We are building out case files, criminal case files. We're interviewing these 35,000 kids, and we're finding out exactly what the hell happened, how they ended up in the nightmare where they were, and we're rescuing more. And there's nothing anybody can do about it. We're going to identify these children. We're locating these children. We're rescuing these children. And we're building out criminal files based upon the testimony of these young teenagers and the documentation of fraudulent vetting. And many of these NGO employees are going to find themselves wearing orange, be their new favorite color. Mr. Chairman, I appreciate the indulgence. I yield.
Yep. Yeah, it's and it is something that needs to be, So Dwayne Cates says every child recovered alive was cared for and debriefed as to who had trafficked them and what had been done to the child by them. Cases have been built. People are being arrested. Much of it on the down low, off camera during ICE raids in those areas. Here's Louisiana's congressman last year telling the traffickers in our own government to get ready for hell. Some have already gone there. Down low at Gitmo, YMCA. You must come ashore. Yeah. So, and it's just saying there's a lot to this, and it is something that we need to pay attention to and keep the awareness levels at the highest. Yeah. Just saying. So I want to start off with this one here. This was put out by Jeremy over at Next News, and I thought it was definitely an interesting piece. Let's take a listen. This is going to go on for a few minutes, so I'm going to take this big screen, and I'll be having a permanent safety meeting backstage here while this is playing. Yeah, a super long. Yeah, it's like 20 minutes long, so it's going to be a long safety. It's going to be a super long safety meeting, okay? Super long. Super duper long. Yeah, I said it.
Next News, breaking news.
Elizabeth Warren's side just said the quiet part out loud. They rushed Jay Clayton because they wanted to make sure that Bill Pulte would never set foot inside the DNI building and never get to look in all of our national security secrets. There it is. Not qualifications, not process, protection. Protection for a closed Washington club that panics the second an outsider gets near the files. President Trump saw the trap, snapped it shut, canceled Clayton's hearing, kept Pulte in place, and dropped the line that just shook the Senate. I will not approve FISA without the Save America Act going along with it. And that changed everything. And this fight matters because it sits right at the intersection of surveillance power and election survival. Democrats wanted FISA. Weak Senate Republicans wanted a smooth hearing calendar. John Thune wanted his tidy process. Chuck Schumer's machine wanted Jamie McDonald snarled up in blue slip games while Jay Clayton got yanked out of SDNY on Washington's timetable. Trump looked at the board and saw the scam instantly. His own words, the Republicans fell into a trap. Exactly right. And here's the trap. Democrats break the deal on FISA. Establishment Republicans still move the personnel pieces, and Trump gets nothing for the country on election integrity. Nothing on voter ID, nothing on proof of citizenship, nothing on limiting mail-in ballots except real exceptions like military, sickness, travel, and disability. Nothing on keeping men out of women's sports. So Trump blew up the timetable. He kept Bill Pulte as acting DNI as long as it takes, froze the hearing, and forced Washington to pick a side. Protect the surveillance state first or secure American elections first. That's why the media is hysterical. That's why Elizabeth Warren's crowd blurted out the motive. And while Trump is forcing Washington to stop acting like a helpless clerk, a lot of Americans are doing the same thing in their own homes when it comes to health. Now, you've probably seen the clip of Joe Rogan with Mel Gibson talking about people close to them who went through serious health struggles and then saw dramatic turnarounds. Rogan brings up red light-based therapies, working at a cellular level. And Gibson says it plain, the stuff works. Now, that hit me because I watched something similar with my own wife after long stretches of discomfort and anxiety. We started looking for tools that actually help, not pills pushed by a broken system. That search led us to red light therapy and the work that Jonathan Otto has spotlighted right here on this channel. If you want to check it out for yourself, go see the interviews, but go to myredlight.com, use NNN25 for individual items or NNN30 for bundles. Take your health back the same way patriots take their country back. See, Washington protects insiders. You don't have to live like one of their dependents. Now back to the part that should have every Republican senator sit up straight. Trump didn't just pause a hearing at the G7. He doubled down and said Bill Pulte stays acting DNI as long as it takes. Then he tied FISA directly to the Save America Act. That means voter ID, proof of citizenship, mail ballot limits, and an end to the madness of men and women's sports. All got stapled to the same showdown. And John Thune's answer? Math. Perfect. We're going to put that next to Warren's confession and let the audience judge who came to fight. So overnight, President Trump announces he will not approve FISA without the Save America Act attached to it and canceled Jay Clayton's Senate hearing today for DNI. He wrote on Truth Social that the Republicans agree with Democrats to remove very fair and talented William Pulte from serving as acting DNI in return for getting FISA approved by the Democrats. However, the Republicans moved so fast with the hearings of my great Jay Clayton, current U.S. Attorney for Southern District of New York, that Pulte would be gone before the Democrats would vote on FISA.
Major shakeup. President Trump has delayed today's Senate confirmation hearing for DNI nominee Jay Clayton. Trump says he's hitting the pause button until Jamie McDonald is approved to be U.S. Attorney. This is all part of the president's push to get Congress to take action on the Save America Act, which is a voter ID bill. For the time being, Bill Pulte will remain as the acting director of national intelligence. The president posting, quote, "I don't want to take Jay Clayton away from the great job he is doing until Jamie is in place. Therefore, to add a slight bit of intrigue, but for the good of the nation and the people of our country, I will not approve FISA without the Save America Act going along with it."
So Trump froze the hearing tied to FISA and the Save America Act and kept Bill Pulte on the chair. Now look at the post that locked it in with the timeline on Tulsi Gabbard's exit and Pulte staying put. Laura Loomer writes that Trump says that Pulte will remain as acting DNI. Tulsi Gabbard's last day is this Friday, June 19th. And Trump has stated that he wants Pulte to drain the swamp, continue with Tulsi Gabbard's efforts, and that's why the left is freaking out. That's why the establishment wants him gone. So the White House position is clear that Pulte stays. Next, you'll hear the left's media machine melt down over Clayton and admit they're desperate to keep Pulte out. Norm Eisen's chief propagandist, Katie Fang, says Clayton is a racist election denier. She has to propagandize her stupid true believers, so she demeans everyone associated with Trump. However, she also pointed out that Norm Eisen's partner in crime, Jim Hines, is longtime friends with Clayton and endorsed him, as did corrupt Chris Murphy. Not looking good.
And the Southern District of New York U.S. Attorney Jay Clayton, who's just been nominated to be the DNI, the Director of National Intelligence, has the nerve to sit there and say, well, you know, and completely unfounded, that there's something wrong in California with not only its law, but that there has to be voter fraud, because there's no way that these results are what they are. Just parroting what his cult leader wants him to do. And so this is why we have to be concerned about Jay Clayton's nomination. This is why we have to be paying attention. And I am sorry, but Jim Hines and Mark Warner, y'all need to fucking cool your jets a little bit here. Okay, and I say this with love and respect, because for them to come out of the gate within hours of Jay Clayton's name being dropped and nominated to be the DNI, and for them to be like, oh, this is so great. Look, cool your jets a little bit here, okay? I mean, I all know we all don't want Bill Pulte, but look, let's be very clear. This is not an apples to apples comparison here, okay? Bill Pulte sucks. But let's not be so overjoyed that we have somebody who on the paper and on the superficial surface looks like they're better than Pulte. Let's not get so excited here about that. Let's calm down for a second and let's figure out why Clayton is such a dangerous nominee for DNI. Clayton is one of the worst loyalists that exists. And we're so programmed to look at loyalists to be a certain kind of rabid way, right? We're so programmed to see loyalists be the crazies, the Bondis, the Blanches, the Bovies, the Patels, the Bungle Bingo Bongino, whatever guy, right? The Rudy Giuliani's, right? We're used to the crazy. But let me tell you, the loyalists that come in wolves in sheep clothing style, they're the worst. And that's Jay Clayton.
They're terrified of anyone who Trump picks. So that was pure smear from regime media mouthpiece, but she also let something slip. Even Democrats like Jim Hines and Murphy have backed Clayton, which raises the real question. Why is Bill Plute the one the establishment fears the most? Tulsi was DNI for more than a year. She was involved in the investigation in the Georgia elections. She had some other triumphs, but for some reason, Bill Plute is the one scaring the crap out of the establishment. Whatever it is that Bill brings to the table, we want it. That's the heart of it. Tulsi served, but Plute is the one making the swamp sweat. And now Elizabeth Warren says the quiet part out loud on camera.
The question of going forward expeditiously on Jay Clayton is a question about making sure that Mr. Pulte never sets foot inside the DNS building and never gets a look at all of our national security secrets. And I think that is a worthy goal.
Quiet part out loud. Right there. Right there. That is the face of fear. She doesn't want somebody looking behind the curtain at all of their secrets. What do you got to hide, Elizabeth? Pocahontas? So she didn't even try to hide it. Her goal is stopping him from ever getting inside the building. Next, we hear how Republicans on the committees are reacting to Trump's delay. Tom Cotton says it's regrettable that the president has directed Clayton to not appear at his confirmation hearing. Clayton's a patriot and highly qualified nominee, as the president has said repeatedly. While today's hearing is now unfortunately postponed, I look forward to proceeding with his confirmation in the near future. So Cotton calls Clayton a patriot, but the statement came after he first drew a line on the hearing schedule. Here's the earlier warning that the committee would move unless Trump stepped in. Cotton says Clayton is a pending nominee before the Intelligence Committee will proceed with his hearing as scheduled unless the president directs him not to appear or withdraws his nomination. So there's friction inside the GOP before the president slammed the brakes. Now watch the corporate media spin it as a rebuke while admitting that Trump plans to keep Pulte there as long as it takes. Trump torches his own plan for Clayton, his nominee for Director of National Intelligence, pressuring lawmakers to pass voting restriction laws.
First of all, this is a major slap in the face to Senate Republicans. As you say, the president says he is delaying the nomination of Clayton because he wants his pick for the U.S. attorney in the Southern District of New York installed first. But on top of that, he says he's not going to approve that key FISA surveillance bill without the Save America Act. That is the president's sweeping voter ID bill that Senate Leader Thune has repeatedly warned does not have enough Republican support to advance. But the big problem, Diane, in all of this is that the president has chosen Bill Pulte as the acting director of national intelligence. He is a Trump loyalist who has zero intelligence experience. Remember that when the president made this decision, it caused revolt on Capitol Hill from both Democrats and Republican, forcing the president to make that new pick of Jay Clayton. But the president is now torching his own plan for leverage because he knows that Republicans do not want Pulte in that role for even a day. Now, the president addressed all of this just moments ago at the G7. He said he expects Pulte to be in this role as acting director for as long as it takes. And take a listen to what else he said.
Okay, we'll go back to that.
And well, first of all, this is
That's not me. That's him messing up.
Act. And that can be passed any way they want to pass it, but I'm not going to sign FISA unless it's, and this was like a rush act, and it was a rush act by the Democrats. All of a sudden they want to get, and why are they afraid of this guy? I mean, they're so afraid of him, they'll do anything not to have Pulte go in there. He's a very capable guy, and they're worried about that.
We are hearing from some Senate Republicans, including from Republican chairman of the Senate Intelligence Committee, Tom Cotton, and in a rebuke to the president, he said that this confirmation hearing for Jay Clayton will, quote, go on as scheduled unless the president directs him not to appear or withdraws his nomination. So
ABC calls it chaos, but even their own report, they admit Democrats are the ones panicking over Pulte. Next, Senator Katie Britt drills into who really owns the FISA lapse and why Democrats are playing games.
First off, let's go back to the fact that the reason that FISA has expired is because of Democrats. Democrats played politics with people's lives. Here we have the World Cup, Dana, like across our nation where we're hosting all of these events and people, and yet Democrats decided that they were going to play politics and shut down the eyes of our intelligence community. That is 100% on them. When it comes to what's happening right now with regards to Jay Clayton, remember that Chuck Schumer wouldn't even return a blue slip on Jay Clayton to be the U.S. attorney there in New York. So he is actually serving in that role because he is court appointed. What President Trump is saying is, look, let's stop playing politics. Let's get a good person in for U.S. attorney, and then let's move Jay Clayton forward. I know that the Senate has several processes it has to go through. I hope that we'll continue working through those so that we can get President Trump, his director of national intelligence, as soon as possible. But Democrats have got to stop playing politics. They've got to actually do the work of the American people. And what we're hearing right here is them playing games once again.
So Brett puts the blame where it belongs on Democrats blocking and stalling while backing Clayton to get through. Then Trump himself drives the point home, asks the question.
How do you expect Bill Pulte to be acting DNI?
Well, as long as it takes to get everybody else approved. I mean, they were doing a rush act, and we didn't get anything for it. Look, he's a very legitimate guy. He's very smart. He's a brilliant guy. Look at the job he did at Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac. I mean, it's worth probably $1 trillion right now. So we put him there, but all of a sudden it was like a rush act by the Democrats. And they said they were going to approve FISA. And I said, but we want FISA approved, but we want the Save America Act approved. Voter ID, proof of citizenship, no mail-in ballots, with exceptions, like for the military, you're sick, you're traveling, disabled. Very, open and generous. We also want no men playing in women's sports, so we want no transgender mutilization of our children. None. Those are 5 things that are 99% that's all we want. It's not a lot. The Save America Act. And that can be passed any way they want to pass it, but I'm not going to sign FISA unless it's done. And this was like a rush act. And it was a rush act by the Democrats. All of a sudden they want to get, and why are they afraid of this guy? I mean, they're so afraid of him. They'll do anything not to have Pulte go in there. He's a very capable guy, and they're worried about that.
Because he will rip open their secrets. He says Trump says that Pulte stays and the Save America Act must be attached. The panic in D.C. is obvious. Next, the pressure turns to John Thune as MAGA demands he fight as hard for election security as he does for FISA. Eric Doherty says Thune is facing historic pressure to put as much energy into the Save America Act as he is in the FISA renewal. Listen to Trump attach the Save America Act to FISA.
Clayton is an eminently qualified individual to become the new director of national intelligence. And so we are looking forward to processing him this week. Chairman Cotton, they will be marking that up or having his confirmation hearing tomorrow, I should say, and hopefully reporting him out later in the week. It would take cooperation among the Democrats in order to get him confirmed this week. But in my view, at least, he has all the qualifications that are necessary. He has the vision, the experience, the judgment, the competence, all the things that you want in that position. And so I'm hopeful the Democrats will cooperate and enable us to get him into this position and get him confirmed there quickly. And that, of course, has not been a given. You look at the fact that this president, President Trump, is the first president in history not to have a civilian nominee confirmed either by voice vote or unanimous consent. That is truly, truly unprecedented. But that's been the Democrat practice and pattern through this in this current administration. But I hope that they will waive that for this and allow us to get this done, because I think that also unlocks the 702 process. And as most of you know, the Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Act 702 program is the most successful tool when it comes to keeping people and this country safe. And we are currently lapsed. and that also is unprecedented. And we are lapsed because the Democrats block voted against a bipartisan deal that had been worked out between members here in the Senate and the House, Democrats and Republicans. And so it is now currently not an authorized program. That needs to be changed. It needs to be fixed quickly. And I hope that the Democrats will work with us in order to make that happen. That's going to be certainly something that's front.
So that's a squeeze on Thune. Grassroots want action, not excuses. The next clip, he responds by saying his hands are tied and attaching the Save America Act, which sink FISA.
On conversations with him, how does this go over? Because the way he types it in his True Social post, it's pretty aggressive. He thinks you should be doing more.
And he's passionate about it, and we are doing everything that we can, but it is a function of math. I mean, we are bound by arithmetic in the United States Senate. The votes currently aren't there. We will continue to put the Democrats on the record and insist on votes on this. But if you tried to attach it, for example, to FISA, it would tank FISA. And so, we will move, once we get Clayton done, we'll move to FISA, try to get the Democrat coalition back together so we can actually pass that and put it on the president's desk. But, and we will look for votes, additional opportunities to get votes on the SAVE Act.
What about housing? You've got a deal, potentially a buy.
So the peak of the story is not the canceled hearing. It's really the confession. Elizabeth Warren sides that the goal was to make sure Bill Plute never entered the building and never saw the secrets. That line blows the whole con apart. If Bill Plute were the harmless lightweight the media pretend he is, Elizabeth Warren would not be this desperate. If Jay Clayton were the problem, Katie Fang would not be screaming while Jim Himes and Murphy quietly vouched for him. The panic centers on control of the intelligence apparatus, control of the election loopholes, control of the timetable. Donald Trump broke all three at once. He protected Jay Clayton at SDNY, kept Jamie McDonald in the equation, held Plute in place, and turned FISA into a battering ram for the Save America Act, and that is command. So here is the pressure point. John Thune needs to stop hiding behind math like a Senate accountant, start acting like the majority leader in a country under assault from election chaos and permanent bureaucrat games. Democrats broke the deal. Elizabeth Warren's camp confessed the motive. The media melted down because Trump used leverage instead of begging for permission. Good. That's exactly why voters sent him back. Jay Clayton's a patriot. Jamie McDonald needs a path. Plute stays where Trump put him for as long as it takes, and FISA doesn't move unless the Save America Act rides with it. That's the line. Hold it. If you want to know which Republicans deserve backup and which ones deserve heat, watch who fights for voter ID, proof of citizenship, mail ballot limits, and basic fairness now. Drop your take below and send this to the procedural genius who's still whining about arithmetic, and make them own the vote that they cast. And make sure you stay connected with the Next News Network. I set up this telephone number just for you. Text the words raw feed to 844-840-4963 and get the notifications that YouTube never sends, because I will send them directly to you. And now it's time to celebrate America 250 with the Next News Network. Check out the Next News merch shelf below this video, or go to shop.nextnewsnetwork.com.
The system controls information. Information control is power.
Okay. Now, I let the commercial part of that run because of the fact that I appreciate his work, and I have not been able to keep up with the Bill Pulte information in regards to the DNI position, as well as keeping up with Tulsi. I have a feeling that she's not done yet. She leaves tomorrow, but that doesn't mean that something big can't drop today or tomorrow as she's leaving. So this could be a very interesting couple of days here, as to information coming out in regards to the DNI. And then Secretary of War Pete Hegseth.
I know they felt the impact. We were clear. publicly and privately. We're not going to allow freeloading anymore. Excuses don't count anymore. Our dues, our NATO dues, are contingent upon other countries stepping up. This is not a one-way street. And so this is not as if this is a new message from President Trump or from me. And that's why most countries are responding positively, both publicly and behind closed doors. It was great to hear country after country say, we're going to meet our target, we're going to meet our target. There are still a few outliers, and we will be clear with them. And as we do this review, we'll change how we look at the continent as a result. I know they felt the impact.
So, yeah. So this is I have a couple other clips as well in regards to this meeting. But let's get into JD Vance. He, I found this was actually kind of comical, but I understand where JD is coming from in this.
Mr. Vice President, thank you so much. I know that you are still not sure if you are going to run for president in 2028, but if you do not, is there anyone in particular that you would want to see run?
What's your name?
Stephen Kapuska. Sorry.
I want Stephen Kapuska to run for president in 2028. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Thank you, Vice President Vance. I've got two questions. Could you describe the status of your Switzerland?
So, I want to talk about this for a second, because this is it. What JD just did there was said that, listen, you don't have to be a lifelong politician to run for this office. Okay. It is basically what he's saying is, it is up to you as an American as to whether you believe in yourself and your country enough to want to see the nation get better and better and better. I mean, Trump's going to bring us to I think he's going to lead us to a great position, but a lot of times we have to look at it and we have to say that those that follow need to be of the same caliber. Okay, Donald Trump right now is setting the bar for what a president should be, and the bar as to, you don't want to be worse than this guy, because you'll never live it down. You'll never live it down. You want every president from here on out benefiting and continuing to make America great. It is really that simple. But I like the fact that, he made that kid feel like he had the ability to step up and say, yeah, I might not be a lifelong politician, but I'm a good researcher. I understand how these systems work. And yeah, I'd like to throw my hat in the ring. No, I definitely do not want to run for president. That's a hard no for me, because I'd have the world leaders in the Oval Office, and we'd be doing what's called hot boxing the Oval. Okay, and what do I mean by hot boxing? Well, you pull up to a light, and a car pulls up alongside you, and you look over, and it looks like Cheech and Chong have got their smoke mobile. Okay. And then a window slowly cracks and the smoke starts pouring out. Yeah. We would have world peace by the time we finished that supersized blunt or bong or bowl or joint. Yeah, we'd have world peace. I'm just saying. Yes, I would be the safety engineer. I could I would do, Cheryl. I would do that. I would accept that position. I would accept that position. Safety engineer. Yeah. I would, yeah. But I'm just saying that there's a lot to this, okay? That with a good safety meeting, I mean a really good safety meeting, we could have all the world secrets, world peace, and the best available munchies, or I should say the most abundant amount of snacks that are of quality and expertise of a chef. Okay, because you got the White House staff, providing, the snacks. Okay, so the munchies are covered. They're covered, and it'd be delectable. Okay, I'm just saying that a slice of lobster soaked in butter sitting on a cracker. It's not a bad snack. That's not a bad snack. I'm just saying it's better than potato chips. Okay. You guys make my job difficult sometimes. You don't laugh enough. You don't laugh enough. Remind me of my neighbor, the one that's got TDS. You know which one I'm talking about? Don't look at me like that. Don't look at me. Stop looking at me like that. Stop looking at me like that.
Me. It's my neighbor Rockline.
It ain't me.
Yeah. It ain't me. It's my neighbor Lipper. My neighbor Jim wakes up mad at the news. Coffee in his hand, but he's already stewing. Shaking his head at the morning TV. Talking about the world like it's all tragedy. Every little headline sets him off track. By lunchtime, he's ready for a full-on rant. I just wave and say, hey man, how you been? He just mumbles something about it all again. I ain't here to fight, I ain't picking no scene. But man, the guy's wound tighter than I've ever seen. Dipper, my neighbor's got TDS. He's in a mess. Every single day, just a whole lot of stress. I'm just on the porch with a cold iced tea, watching him argue with his own TV. Lit mine. He's fired up, I'm kicked back, feeling blessed, laughing at the noise while I'm getting my rest. If you need me, I'll be right here chilling free, while my neighbor's fighting an imaginary enemy. He's scrolling all night, barely getting to sleep, arguing online with a meme from 03. Caps lock stuck and his comments fly. Meanwhile, I'm just watching clouds roll by. He said, man, how can you stay so calm? I said, turn it off, come sit on the lawn. Sun still shining, world still spins. Might even crack a smile if you let it in. He shook his head like I just don't see. I said, buddy, maybe you just need less TV. But nah, my neighbor's got TDS. He's in a mess. Every little thing just a test of stress. I'm just grilling burgers in the summer heat while he's yelling at headlines down the street. He's fired up, I'm kicked back, feeling blessed. Life's a whole lot better with a little less press. If you need me, I'll be right here chilling free, while my neighbor's fighting imaginary enemies. Now Jim's a good guy, don't get me wrong, just been tuned in way too long. Channel after channel, same old spin, got his head all tied up in a knot again. I said, come on over, take a break tonight, we'll laugh a little, maybe see some light. He said, no, I gotta stay informed. I said, man, you you look a little stormed. My neighbor's got TDS. He's in a mess. I wish he traded in for a little less stress. I'm just living life with a smile on me. Ain't no headline gonna steal my peace. Smile. He's fired up, I'm kicked back, feeling blessed. Sometimes less noise is the real success. If you need me, I'll be right here chilling free, and hoping one day come sitting with me. Yeah, he'll come around, I'll save him a chair.
First of all, the temporary restraints include my directive that the defendant immediately remove the confidential school security surveillance video at issue.
I understand that,
Secondly,
Judge. Yes.
they will be temporarily restrained. The New Brunswick Today will be temporarily restrained and enjoined from making any further postings of confidential school security or surveillance video as taken at any of the schools in the plaintiff's district. I don't know if that's going to happen or not, but that's confidential security, safety protective surveillance video taken by the school. How and if that ever gets to the defendant, I don't know. But if it does, I'm not permitting that, pending the hearing on the return date of the order to show cause.
I understand what you're
I'm going to
saying.
enter the order, and I'm not going to stay my order restraining the defendant from doing so, and staying my directive compelling it to remove that video post haste, so as to ensure the protection of the juvenile who's depicted in it, and any and all other juveniles who are depicted in it. And we'll hear the argument on the merits on the return date.
Okay, so I'd like to remind this judge that number one, the school is public. Public. It's not a private school. It's a public school. And I think you're overstepping yourself, Your Honor. If a kid brings a weapon into a school and the school does not want misreporting done, then it is in the best interest for the school to release the video. And in all actuality, a private organization does not get to control the public atmosphere. So if it is a public school, then that means that the security footage belongs to who? The public. Sounds to me like a judge is trying to let somebody off with a slap on the wrist. Okay? New Jersey schools got a court to order a newspaper to delete a video of a security incident at a high school where a student brought what police called an imitation firearm. Okay, the fact of the matter is, it is a public high school. Public.
Now, you're free to take that to the appellate division on an emergent basis. That's certainly your right, Mr. Rosen, but that's my order.
Fine, Judge, I'm just trying to make sure that if Mr. Cradiville writes about this and reiterates what he saw or what the video might have depicted, is that going to violate your order?
Right now, my order, it arguably would, yes.
Okay, I mean that
the footage is coming down.
I understand, and the footage will come down. There's no doubt about it. Your Honor's ordered it, and we follow the orders of the court. But I'm asking you, if Mr. Cradle writes about this is that something that the court is going to make an issue of? Because that needs to be considered by the appellate division too. And I say that with great respect, Judge.
Okay, and I understand that. My short answer is yes.
Okay.
So now the judge is telling the news organizations that they cannot report it, even without the video. This judge is corrupt, absolutely corrupt. No ands.
First of all,
about it.
the temporary restraints.
It's and it doesn't matter that it's a temporary order. Okay, they got to go through the appellate court and everything in order to do this now. Okay, but the freedom of the press, that's part of our first constitutional, our First Amendment of the Constitution. Freedom of the press. Okay. And the thing is, what is considered press? Let's think about this for a second, okay? Because, what it appears is that, if you're protesting and you're holding a phone, that automatically your press gets them away from any actions that law enforcement do. Other things as well. I understand courtroom recording. There should be a process for that. I do believe. But at the same time, is how do you get away from the mainstream media and allow citizen journalists to do what they're doing? Because to me, I get more from the citizen journalists. I get more honesty, more integrity, more truthful stories. I get accurate information. I get receipts that come along with it. Okay. And this judge is basically telling somebody who has an independent newspaper that they can't report on a very, very disturbing story. And that's not cool. Adam Steinbach put that up. Thank you. Very, very much interested in knowing this. And we know, put this one up, LT. Minnesota Democrats block subpoena into Ilhan Omar's ties to the $250 million fraud scandal.
Closed on the state's $9 billion fraud scandal. Yesterday, they blocked a subpoena for materials from Congresswoman Ilhan Omar. Investigators want to see her communications with the convicted ringleader of the theft from $250 million in COVID funds, that particular part of the probe. That money was meant to feed hungry children. The subpoena attempt came after Ilhan Omar blew off a deadline to turn over the information. Republican candidate for Senate in Minnesota, Michelle Tafoya, with this.
She has not participated in this process at all so far. She has remained somewhat untouchable here in Minnesota. I'm not sure why that is. I'm not sure why we don't hold all of our suspected wrongdoers to account. There is so much smoke here, and I want to find the fire.
Well, I can tell you who could talk about the smoke. Senior correspondent Mike Tobin is digging in to get the facts. Closed on the state's $9 billion.
So, yeah. Fucking, yeah. It's our entire political system has to be revamped. Since Serving put out fuck around, find out. Soros funded group raided, while President Bossman dealmaker in chief Trump made huge progress at G7 that ended with a monumental Iran, mandate of, MOU is, memo of understanding or something like that. Deal signing. This happened in the States. FBI raided Soros-backed voter group Federal agents raided the headquarters of Ohio Organizing Collaborative, OOC, in Cleveland on June 11th, 2026, as part of the ongoing investigation into voter registration fraud. The nonprofit, which receives significant funding from George Soros-linked foundations, was targeted after FBI's executed search warrants and questioned employees across the state. The investigation follows past controversies, including a 2017 case where a former OOC canvasser pleaded guilty to participating in fraudulent voter registration scheme involving deceased individuals. Makes me wonder, did that OOC canvasser sing like a bird? The lame OOC leaders condemned the action as politically motivated attempt to intimidate voter mobilization efforts during an election cycle. We're finally getting closer to Soros. Trump's Iran deal is ginormous move to take down the big name swamp. So look over here while this is going on. Awakened Outlaw put this one up. Just stop for a moment and think about how batshit crazy it is to sabotage a reflecting pool to try and hurt Trump. But here we are. Nick Sortor put this up. Yeah. So yeah, they messed the pool up. A couple of guys snuck in the middle of the night and dumped a couple of buckets. They know that these guys are from a swamp area down in Georgia. They already located them, and as soon as they can be located, they will be in custody, no doubt about it. Tommy Robinson put up the police returned Fiona, an English child, to the house where the Muslim rape gang were and told them have fun with her. Not one officer has ever faced trial, not one politician, not one social worker. And this is in regards to Rupert Lowe's rape gang inquiry. Okay. What did Ashton says? Grok, provide a comprehensive, detailed analysis of this report and summarize the key findings and conclusions. Do not shy away from telling the full facts. Okay, so let's take a look and see what Grok had to say. The rape gang inquiry report details systemic child sexual exploitation by predominantly Pakistani heritage Muslim men targeting vulnerable white British girls. Key findings: 250,000 victims estimated since the 1950s, 87 to 95% perpetrators Muslim in analyzed cases, grooming via drugs, alcohol, taxis, gang rapes, trafficking, blackmail, and racial and religious abuse. Massive institutional failures by police, councils, and services driven by political correctness and fear of racism accusations, ethnicity, and religion data often unrecorded. Links to clan honor codes and Islamic theological attitudes towards non-Muslims cited. Harrowing survivor testimonies included. Conclusions: national scandal and state betrayal enabled by multiculturalism. Recommendations: mandatory ethnicity recording in crime data, deportations of foreign offenders, accountability, and reforms consistent with patterns in official inquiries like Rotterdam and Telford. And I believe it probably goes on and on and on. Yeah, it does. It goes on and on and on. Yeah, so this is the entire report is available, and it's quite extensive, 219 pages. Okay. I mean, we could go through this, but if we did, then we'd be here for 5 or 6 hours. Not that you guys would mind being here for 5 or 6 hours. Okay. But unfortunately, I got pretty good weather and it's not too hot. I do have work to do. But what I will do is drop the link for this PDF into the chat. Give me a second. Let me open up a, let's see. We want to go to, F. There we go. I want to go here. And I'm going to drop it into the Facebook side. X, all you have to do is look at my feed and you'll see that I shared it already. And hi, everybody. So you know it's really me. Yeah, it's me. You know it's me when I spell hi different than everybody else. Yeah, I do. I do. And I don't mind it. I don't mind it. But let's jump over to here. Hit the content here. And those of you on YouTube already got it. And X, all you have to do is look at my feed, and you can grab it there. So yeah, I thought that you guys would appreciate that. Especially seeing that we've been hearing about so much of this over this last period of time, right? Whether it's through Katie Hopkins or Tony Robinson or one of many people who, and Rupert Lowe has been talking about it for a bit now too. So Donald Trump says oil is flowing. Iran can never have a nuclear weapon. The world will be safe. The stock markets are roaring, which they have. They hit highs that they've never seen before ever in the history of Wall Street or anything else. Jobs are at records and prices are dropping. Affordability. Our country is strong, safe, and respected like never before. You're welcome, President Donald J. Trump. Yeah. Let's see. Gunther Eagleman says 32-year-old Daniel Heiss scrimmage charged in White House UFC terror plot. 23-member group chat exposed. Another Antifa-linked suspect facing conspiracy charges as the FBI continues rounding up radicals. Let's take a listen.
Having 23 members in it. Today, 32-year-old Daniel Eskridge is set to appear before a judge today on conspiracy charges. Court documents state that Eskridge posted to that Signal chat the plan was to wage war on an illegitimate government. The men arrested in the plot also include a 19-year-old from Ohio, a 24-year-old and 32-year-old, both from California, and a 31-year-old from Nebraska. Now, this terror was set to unfold in stages. We've learned this attack by explosives raining down. That would be the first thing. They would come down from drones at or near the UFC event at the White House Sunday, which would then force a mass evacuation, at which time attackers would storm the White House gate and snipers target administration officials, other high-valued individuals. UFC President Dana White is praising the FBI for their action foiling this plot. They say that he says that there were additional threats made on that event. Listen.
Did you have any idea that this was happening? Somebody was apparently planning to do something horrible on Sunday.
Yeah, there was more than that. There was more than that. And yes, I was in the loop on all of the stuff that was happening in real time. These are the kind of events that bring the nuts out. You know what I mean?
Well, the Department of Justice is citing the planned attack and threats in an appeal to federal court to allow construction of the president's ballroom to continue, which the president says is coming along fantastically well. It's on time and under budget, he says. It is desperately needed and will be very special. Now, we mentioned the additional suspects potentially in this case, and one law enforcement source tells Fox that officials believe that they do already have the most imminent threat actor in custody, guys.
Wow.
The ringleader. Thank you.
Every time they do this,
you're
they
not
play
stating
into
which
the
one.
hands of the president who wants to build a ballroom with a.
Yeah, they're not stating who the ringleader was yet. However,
23
the one guy out of Nebraska happens to be a DACA kid. He was a DACA kid, sitting around waiting for the day that somebody would pass a law where they could be citizens. Okay, a DACA kid was involved in this. Yeah. Now this sheriff, he's got a plan. This is Sheriff McMahill's new policy. Cars used for teen takeovers now get shredded.
If you choose your vehicle as a tool to endanger others, you're going to risk losing that vehicle permanently. Today's vehicle destruction reflects our commitment to public safety, accountability, and preventing future harm.
Every week, we're identifying more individuals, we're identifying those other individuals, and we're holding them accountable. We're arresting them, and as you can see here, what's left of those giant cars are sitting here before us. This is what's going to happen if you continue to be involved with this behavior.
Yep. Just saying. Mom and Dad, maybe you don't want to get your kid a car too early because they get involved in something like this. That car is going to get crushed. It's not going to be something where you get to go to the pound and pick it up. It's not a puppy. It's a car. And car crushers are real. Just saying. Parents, pay attention. Know what your children are doing. So this is Inspector General Anthony D. I don't even know what his last name is because it doesn't even give you the whole dang name. Let's go here and see if it gives you the whole dang name. Anthony D. Esposito. The Esposito. Okay. All right. Here we go.
The Trump administration and the Department of Labor are officially putting governors on notice. The American people will no longer tolerate the blatant waste, fraud, and abuse of their hard-earned tax dollars. And neither should any state. We are demanding immediate action to combat fraud, waste, and abuse within the unemployment insurance program. That's why, under President Trump, the Department of Labor is committed to using every lever available to ensure taxpayer money is protected. To date, we've discovered that the state of California owes more than $20 billion to the federal government after years of fraud, improper payments, and mismanagement of its UI system.
$320 million in improper payments from Illinois and New York, my home state, is losing an estimated $2 million every single day to fraud and improper payments, while posting one of the highest improper payment rates in the nation, more than 20%. But the days of excuses, they're over. States that fail to protect taxpayer dollars and jeopardize benefits intended for hardworking Americans, they should expect consequences. Acting Secretary Sonderling and I will use every available enforcement tool to demand accountability, recover stolen money, and ensure unemployment benefits only go to eligible Americans.
Years of failed oversight, outdated technology, weak identity verification, and lax controls allowed unprecedented fraud to flourish. The Department of Labor is committed to rooting out fraud, enforcing UI eligibility requirements, and protecting American taxpayers.
Yeah, that's from the Department of Labor. And then Benny Johnson with Tommy Robinson, who's going to talk about that very gang rape inquiry that I spoke of moments ago.
Your days are numbered. And I don't think so. When you see lots of things happened and lots of things failed here, police failed, government failed. Do you know who else failed? We failed. As a nation, we failed. Now, we lost morality, we lost faith, we lost culture, we lost the church, we lost Jesus, we lost our belief, we lost everything, our identity. And that wasn't a mistake. The church, all these things, what I'd say is a successful left-wing revolution. Open border mass immigration, attack the church, attack the family, feminize the man, weaken the man. All these things have happened. Now that left a void, and in that void filled all these barbaric ideas. Yeah, but we as a nation, if we had pride, we wouldn't let any of this happen. As men, we wouldn't let it happen. So we lost ourselves. Yeah, we lost ourselves. Now, what Keir Starmer and what I think people should be looking at Britain and realizing is Britain's been asleep for 30 years. Britain was paralyzed through fear. Our leaders, but not just our leaders, all of us were. When I started, Benny, you've got my name there as Tommy Robinson. Yeah, my name's not Tommy Robinson. My name's Stephen Lennon. But I used a fake name because I was scared. I wore a mask because I was scared. I didn't want to lose my job. I didn't want to be in that position. So I understand the fear that the public had because I had that fear. I knew they're going to attack you. They're going to want to kill you. I understood the problems of taking on Islam because I'm born in Luton. I get it. Yeah. What I didn't understand was the British state and the lengths it would go to, and the dark side of the British state and how corrupted it was. So, but what Keir Starmer's government and what the globalists or the elite, whatever word you want to come to for them, need to understand is that a cultural revolution is happening in Britain. A political revolution is happening. People are finding faith. They're finding identity again. Men are becoming strong. Men are meeting. There's a lot happening, Benny, outside of this that I'm watching, and I've waited 15 long bloody years for. Yeah,
please.
I've waited 15 long years for this moment, and I'm looking at it happening. You mentioned before we had millions on the streets. All of these things, unfortunately for us, as a nation that was asleep, all these things had to happen. Like I say in America, you needed Joe Biden for 4 years, yeah, to be able to elect Donald Trump with a mandate where the public support the change that's needed to be brought in. Yeah, and we need all this. So Keir Starmer, his days are numbered. Nationalism, patriotism, whatever word you want to come to for it, is accelerating. It's a fire that they're not going to be able to put out. But again, until we get justice, as in until every man, police officer, because none of them have been prosecuted, they've all swanned off with their pensions. They've all swanned off with their pensions. But not just that. Out of the 200 rapists in Telford, 11 were prosecuted. So how many have been let off in different towns and cities all over the nation? Every rapist must be prosecuted, but not to be prosecuted. We don't want them here. They need to leave. The community that allowed this to happen needs to leave. Every family member that knew their brother, cousin, because what you have to understand is that this hasn't been frowned upon. The community support them. So when they go to court, these rapists, all their wives and that are in court supporting them. They don't, like a paedophile would get kicked out of the community, driven out of the community. Not this. This isn't paedophilia to them. This is accepted. This is okay because it's non-Muslim girls. You've already looked at it. The biggest question, it started off as Asian grooming gangs. We managed to get it to Pakistani grooming gangs. We've now managed to get it to Muslim rape gangs, Islamic rape gangs. Yes, the majority are Pakistani because the majority of Muslims in the UK are Pakistani. But I went through the figures of where they're from. They're from Iraq, they're from Afghanistan. Do you know the Somalian gang? Because there's a Somalian gang in Bristol. He said in court it was his religious duty to do this. So I've gone through, they literally quote the Quran whilst they're raping the girls.
Yeah. Yeah. Just saying. Say, it's a lot. It's a lot. All right. Patriot Dad on Iran.
So it seems like the only people who haven't yet figured out how incredibly successful Donald Trump's campaign in Iran was are the same people who sold their soul for engagement bucks from foreign influence funded operations. And of course, the media and the Democrats and all of the idiots that exist in the comments section. Look, we can either listen to the losertarians who thought that they were going to be able to splinter off enough of the MAGA base to build a relevant political movement, or We can listen to the globalists themselves tell you exactly how successful Donald Trump's mission was.
The post-Cold War world of rules-based order is breaking down. Multilateral institutions have weakened. Economic integration, from which we have benefited, is being weaponized. The international trading system, which we've relied upon for decades, is under threat.
The post-Cold War rules-based order that he's talking about is the globalist system. The multilateral institutions are things like NATO and the United Nations, which has used the United States as its hammer to protect their systems and drive their agenda. The economic integration that they, the globalists, benefited from are the choke points that they created around the world in places like the Straits of Hormuz to control the flow of energy. The international trading systems are the globalist imperialist financial networks that uses futures contracts and insurance contracts and inflated forecasts of shortages to create psychological operations that justify spiking the cost of energy. And the entire system is designed to create enough panic to be able to siphon off the national wealth of sovereign nations. And as Mark Carney just told you, it's over. And to prove that Donald Trump had to go through Iran in order to dismantle this system, he codified it in items 8, 9, and 10 of the Memorandum of Understanding. The number one priority of going directly into Iran was to ensure that they shall not produce or develop nuclear weapons. It is the threat that the Iranian Islamic regime could produce a nuclear weapon that the globalists use to justify their terror premium. And in number 9, the Islamic Republic of Iran will maintain the current status quo of its nuclear program. When, in case you haven't been paying attention, it's buried under a mountain of rubble. And this one right here, number 10, is the one that nobody is talking about because the losertarians don't want you to understand that Donald Trump just remade the entire global order with item number 10. United States Department of Treasury will issue waivers for the export of Iranian crude oil, petroleum products, and derivatives and all associated services, including banking transactions, insurance, and transportation. This is the globalist imperialist financial system that they have used to squeeze and siphon off your wealth for the last 100 years. This is exactly what Donald Trump intended to do by going into Iran. This is exactly what Mark Carney is mourning. Donald Trump just took every tool that the globalist had to extract your wealth, and now it's ours. Item number 10 is the American system fully implemented after destroying the globalist system going through Iran.
Interesting. So before I got started today, I got to tell you guys, I found another music generator, and what I liked about it was the fact that I got a variety of voices now. So you know, the I got one that I'm working on right now, and I kind of want you guys to be part of it, you know, because we've been talking about we've been talking about this for a while, and let's see, give me 1 second. Got a copy over. Finish this prompt. The prompts are really important, you know, when it comes to writing, you know, because you want the feeling that you want to put in. So this is what I've so I got to go into styles. and gonna put. Oh, you know what? I was wondering why it was looking so weird. Is because I had it. Pasted in there. And basically, what I'm telling it is to create an emotional Americana anthem. Okay. And, we've been talking about the grooming gangs, right? And I'm going to give you the gist of this is, basically, is what's the results when people look away, or so the title of this is what happens when we look away, and I'm going to click this create button. Okay, I put my prompt in and told it what I wanted to do emotional wise and things like that, and it's going to generate. We're going to let that generate and stew for a minute, and then I'm going to play it for you guys, and we'll have two versions to choose from. And we will, so they pop up pretty quick, which is one of the things that I really like about this is I did go through the prequel to my story. I went through 6 different voices until I found exactly what I wanted and this type of sound that I wanted. What's right now, I went through 2 versions. I did a country version of it. And then I was like, you know what? Maybe I should try a reggae version of it and see how that goes. And, well, some of you heard it during the intro of the podcast. And while this thing is generating the new song, I'm going to go ahead and play what's right now.
What's right now? Hey, 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 hey. What's right now? You walk in the room with a smile on your face, but your mind's racing all over the place. Got 1,000 things running through your head, and you know you ought to slow it down instead. Well, don't just grab the first jar you see. There's a little bit of science to the TAC. Take a minute, breathe, don't rush somehow. Ask yourself what's right now. Do you need to chill? Do you need some sleep? Do you need a relief that's nice and deep? Do you need a snack? Do you need a grin? Let's figure out where to begin. What's right now? What's your body say? Hey. Are you winding down at the end of the day? Hey. Know the lights if you're ready for bed. Bubba Kush if your battery's dead. Dos when the aches hang around. Blue cheese if you're still moving around. Everybody's different somehow. So what's right now? Know the light says turn down the speed. Let your busy little brain be free. Tie an Afghani on a sleepy ride, like a warm blanket by your side. Then Bubba Kush walks through the door, says, buddy, you ain't working anymore. It's the melt into the couch parade. Cancel your chores that you already made. Need some comfort, need some peace. Need those busy thoughts to cease. Don't overthink, don't wear a frown. Listen when your body's talking now. What's right?
Here's it. Is it working? Is the audio working for you guys? Not music, huh? Give me a second here. Let me do this real quick. If something's going on that it's probably because of the fact that this is working. So one of the versions is done. And we can get rid of the safety meeting. But I don't want to start playing it until the second one finishes. When the time comes up on it, then you know that this whole app thing here is done working. And I think that's what the problem is that we're catching a loop back, I guess, in signal, in the signal that causes it to do that. Yeah, we'll get that squared away. But I'll play the song at the end of it. At the end of the song, or what's right now. But I got it up on YouTube. I haven't put it up on Rumble yet. I wanted to do a video for it, but I've got to learn this program first and how the productions and everything, because it's got the full MIDI studio, it's got the mastering, and it's got all this experimental stuff. So when I get the opportunity to go through the experimental stuff, then I'll see what's available in generating videos for it. But I mean, at this point here, I'm kind of like, I kind of like the way that I've been doing it, where the lyrics are up on the screen and you guys get to sing along with it, kind of thing. I think that's pretty good. But yeah, and I believe that I did all of the songs on YouTube and the other platforms where you guys can download them. But other people keep telling me to put them up on Spotify and stuff like that. So I may do that, especially with that one there, because that's I think that's a very educational song in regards to knowing your indicas, and what they can do for you. Debbie Lands. Okay, so what you do is go to where it says notifications, turn off the notifications, refresh the screen, okay, and then turn around and reactivate the notifications. Okay, by refreshing the screen, it wipes the memory of the YouTube side, and then when you click it back on, then it reinserts it so that you get it, you're up to date on what do you call that. So all right, so what happens when we look the other way? Let's see how it came out. Now, do you have audio?
A mother hangs another picture on a wall that's filled with pain. A father sits beside an empty chair and whispers out a name. A neighbor saw the warning signs. The teacher felt concern. But somewhere down the line we said, it's not my place to turn. What happens when we look the other way? Who pays the price we never have to pay? When silence fills the room, darkness finds a place to stay. What happens when we say someone else will save the day. Another child keeps waiting, another heart begins to break. What happens when we look the other way?
Okay, so that's the first one. Let's take a listen at the second one.
A mother hangs another picture on a wall that's filled with pain. A father sits beside an empty chair and whispers out a name. The neighbors saw the warning signs. The teacher felt concern. But somewhere down the line we said, it's not my place to turn. What happens when we look the other way? Who pays the price we never have to pay? When silence fills the room, darkness finds a place to stay. What happens when we say someone else will save the day? Another child keeps waiting, another heart begins to break. What happens when we look the other way? It isn't always evil shouting. Sometimes it's a whisper low. It hides inside the ordinary, where we rarely choose to go. It isn't fear that builds the walls. It's comfort and routine. The danger grows in quiet places, hidden somewhere in between. Yeah. What happens when we look the other way? Who pays the price we never have to pay? When silence fills the room, darkness finds a place to stay. What happens when we say someone else will save the day? Another child keeps waiting, another heart begins to break. What happens when we look the other way? No, we can't fix every problem, we can't carry every load. But one more pair of open eyes can change somebody's road. One more share, one more phone call, one more person who will stand. Sometimes hope begins to grow inside an ordinary hand. So what happens when we look the other way? The answer's hard to face. The shadows grow a little stronger, and fear begins to take its place. What happens when we choose to see? When we refuse to walk away? Maybe one more child comes home. Maybe one more life is saved. Maybe ordinary people become the light today. We don't have to become investigators. We don't have to become heroes. But we can become attentive. We can become courageous. We can become one more set of eyes. Because every day a child remains missing is a day they can never get back. So don't look away. Pay attention. And be the light somebody's waiting for. When mother hangs another picture.
Wow. Wow. And that's just the first draft. I think I heard a couple of spots in there where I could change the lyric a little bit more, but that was good. That was good. That was. Wow. Takes a lot to keep myself focused on looking for all the news when my mind is constantly on one particular topic, and that's part of why I took yesterday away, was because of the fact that, like I said, I was trapped in my own mind yesterday. And I guess I have been for a little while now. It's the things that, constantly come up, and the thing is I pray about it. I ask him to take the visualizations away, take the nightmares, the frightmares, the memories away, and he doesn't, because it's not based on my understanding, it's under his. Because as long as I'm constantly reminded, it inspires more. And I, yeah. Okay, let's keep going.
I've said before, we are just beginning to scratch the surface. We have dozens and dozens of fraud cases in the pipeline and numerous ongoing investigations involving systemic, large-scale fraud schemes. So I assure you, there will be more coming. But today, we are announcing charges against 15 individuals, and the charging documents provide a snapshot of what is going on in Massachusetts. Unchecked, unbridled, rampant fraud. People stealing taxpayer dollars, lying about their eligibility, and in many cases, lying even about their own identities. Of the 15 people charged, 11 are suspected illegal aliens who allegedly stole everything from SNAP to Mass Health to Social Security, disability, and unemployment benefits. One defendant, whose true identity is unknown even today, is charged with over $500,000 in fraud loss, mass health fraud, Social Security fraud, housing fraud, and SNAP benefit fraud, over $500,000. There is no doubt this loss amount would have continued to grow if not for today's charges.
Yep. So, yep. Harmet, I think that's her name, Harmet Dillon, I think is her name. She's going hot. She's going heavy. Let's see.
What's the problem with the Save America Act? Why do Democrats push back on the idea that you have to prove citizenship to vote? What's the problem? Are there just too many illegals in this country voting?
It's not an issue that you have undocumented people in mass numbers voting. You know that, Maria. The data doesn't show that. And the challenge is the way
excuse me 1 second. Elections have been lost just by 1,000 votes. 500 votes here, 1,000. So when you say, oh, there aren't large numbers of illegals voting, there shouldn't be any illegals voting. It's against the law. Elections
agree.
have been lost by a couple of votes. So just to say, oh, it's not a lot, that's not an answer, sir. What's the problem with the Save America Act?
You caught that
Why
right
do
there, right?
decisions elect?
This part right here. This is the point she's making, and I think that she's 100% accurate with this one little statement right here.
And the challenge is the way
excuse me 1 second.
Listen.
Elections have been lost just by 1,000 votes.
Just by 1,000 votes or 600 votes.
500 votes here, 1,000. So when you say, oh, there aren't large numbers of illegals voting, there shouldn't be any illegals voting. It's against the law. Elections
agree.
have been lost by a couple of votes. So just to say, oh, it's not a lot, that's not an answer, sir.
So not only are we shaming the Republicans into voting for this, okay, but we're shaming the Democrats into it as well. And it's being done on the national stage. Okay. But we have to remember that a lot of people aren't paying attention to any of the national news networks anymore because they've propagandized and lied to us for so long that we have completely tuned them out. And we go for the independent journalists who are actually there on the spot with the receipts, asking the questions, coming at them with facts, and we watch them scatter, turn, run, and hide. So, the Supreme Court of the U.S. just struck down the federal ban on gun possession by marijuana users in the U.S. and Humani, or the Humani, okay? Gorsuch wrote it, and even Sotomayor and Jackson joined under Bruin, and the government couldn't prove a historical basis to disarm pot smokers. Just said. So, the ringleader of the failed terror attack targeting the UFC 250. Well, this is that guy. He's a DACA kid. Okay? He's a DACA kid. His name is Abraham Hermosillo Alvarez from Mexico. Planned, organized, and directed the planned attack. He was arrested by the FBI on June 14th, and the ICE Gov has lodged a detainer against him. Alvarez failed to leave the country when his B-2 tourist visa expired in 2001. He was granted DACA by the Obama administration. This illegal alien should never have been allowed in our country, and we will ensure he faces justice and is swiftly removed from our nation. Yep. Just saying. All right. Here is Pakistani Pervez Siddiqui with Mandami right after he was elected. Sadiq was just arrested for a 38 million Medicaid fraud scheme. Now, he reportedly has multiple connections to New York City Democrats, per the New York Post. The fraud runs deep. Yep. So, let's see. So every day, HSI HQ, so that would be the Homeland Security Investigators headquarters, and the DHS Cybercrime Center are working to stop horrific crimes from harming our kids. Here we go. Tim Tebow.
And you look at these numbers on online enticement reports to the cyber tip line. 292,000 the first 6 months of 2024, 518,000 in the first 6 months of 2025. I mean, it seems like this is exploding.
It is, and it's growing every single day. A couple years ago, the first time that we testified, that number in the ICSA database, it wasn't 89,000. It was 57,000. And with all the law enforcement, our team and partners and so many people that have been fighting in this space in the last 2 years, 20,000 boys and girls have been identified and or rescued. But that number is still at 89,000. That means that really that number has risen to 109,000. So it is growing exponentially, and we have to be able to have more people in the fight, better technology, better training to be able to fight back against this evil. Because let's be honest, it is so easy for members of our community and around the world. Before, you had to take a lot of steps. Right now, you can get on the internet, on your phone, or wherever you're at. You can download peer-to-peer trading networks. And we also know, you got to see a little bit of that red dot map, the 6-month screenshot of more than 330,000 unique IP addresses downloading and sharing child rape images under the age of 12. But we also know that 55 to 85% of them that are downloading are also hands-on offenders. And we also know that your average offender has 13 victims in your lifetime. So every time we can protect a kid and put one of those offenders behind bars, we protected a whole lot of other kids as well.
All right. There you go, Dean. We got you. We got you. Just looking to see real quick if there was. Want this young man to be able to drop his links. There you go, young man. And I thought I saw a third one, but I'm not positive. Okay. Type something in, John D, so I can make sure that went through. Or drop a link. Drop a link for somebody. Just for hoops and laughs. All right. Okay, I think I got them working now. And Dean, you should have yours too. If you can type something in so I can see that it went through, I would appreciate it. Just even if you're just saying hi, I don't care. Just say hi, okay? Say hi. Yeah, we got it. There we go. Okay, thank you, John. Yeah, thank you. I know it worked all right. I'm just waiting on Dean to drop one now, so I can see that he got. Say something. Then tell him, Buck. Tell him. Say something. I'm sorry. Oh Lord. Okay. And I love that comment on the up on the YouTube. There's who was it that said that? It was I unfortunately do not have a shirt that looks like that, but Sparky, I love that shirt too, but I don't have one. It was and even Miss April liked that one from MVP. She's awesome. Yeah, just yeah. All right. Let's see. We are 2 hours and 15 minutes into this, and I think I'm going to go ahead and call it for myself for the day. My head is kind of in two world zones, so I'm going to take you out with this one. Well, not take you out. I'll be back. Well, that's not it. That's not what I wanted. This is the one that I wanted. Why aren't you playing the one that I wanted? Play the one that I want. There it is. All right, here we go. You should be able to hear it real good now.
Right now. What's right now? You walk in the room with a smile on your face, but your mind's racing all over the place. Got 1,000 things running through your head, and you know you ought to slow it down instead. Well, don't just grab the first jar you see. There's a little bit of science to the TAC. Take a minute, breathe, don't rush somehow. Ask yourself what's right now. Do you need to chill? Do you need some sleep? Do you need a relief that's nice and deep? Do you need a snack? Do you need a grin? Let's figure out where to begin. What's right now? What's your body say? Hey. Are you winding down at the end of the day? Hey. Northern Lights if you're ready for bed. Bubba Kush if your battery's dead. Dos when the aches hang around. Blue cheese if you're still moving around. Hey. Everybody's different somehow. So what's right now? Northern Light says turn down the speed. Let your busy little brain be free. Tie an Afghani on a sleepy ride, like a warm blanket by your side. Then Bubba Kush walks through the door, says, buddy, you ain't working anymore. It's the melt into the couch parade. Cancel your chores that you already made. Need some comfort, need some peace. Need those busy thoughts to cease. Don't overthink, don't wear a frown. Listen when your body's talking now. What's right now? What's your body say? Are you winding down at the end of the day? Northern Lights if you're ready for bed. Bubba Kush if your battery's dead. Dos when the aches hang around. Blue cheese if you're still moving around. Hey, everybody's different somehow. So what's right now? Do says I got your back when your muscles start to crack. Blue cheese says grab a little bite, but still keep dancing through the night. Slow reaction, dry mouth too. Keep some water close to you if your heart starts racing fast. Take it easy, let it pass. Everybody's chemistry works a little differently. What's right now? Listen to yourself. Not every jar belongs on everybody's shelf. Some are sleepy, some are light, some are daytime, some are night. Take it slow and you'll find out how to choose what's right now. What's right now? Oh, what's right now? What's right now? Hey, everybody's different somehow. So what's right now? Hey, ask your body what's right now. Hey.
Okay, so I'm definitely going to let this next song play. Okay, and there's a reason for it. You know, when we started this journey together 10 years ago, one of the very first things that I ever said to you guys was when they tell you who they are, and what they're going to do to you, believe them. Do you guys remember that conversation? I know some of you weren't with us all the way back then, but some of the people here in this chat have been with me for these 10 whole years. Okay. Since before Trump won the first time, they've been on this ride with me. You know, we loaded up in the wagon and we started going. And as we went from wooden wheels to rubber wheels. We've gone from wooden axles to metal axles with well greased. We've gone from, horses pulling that wagon to having a big motor pulling it. Right. And that's, that's all because we paid attention to what they were saying and what they were not saying and what their actions were. So when they tell you who they are, believe them. And that's that statement that I made to you all those years ago is reflectant of what I wrote yesterday afternoon. Okay. And I think you'll like it. I think you'll like it. I don't know. We'll find out here in a second.
We spend our lives looking for reasons, trying to see the good in every face, painting over all the warning signs, calling storms of passing rain. We tell ourselves they don't mean it, they'll change somewhere along the way. But truth don't hide forever. It always finds a way. 'Cause sometimes the loudest answer ain't hidden underneath. It's right there in the words they speak. Don't turn your eyes away. The truth is often spoken long before the price is paid. Watch their words, watch their actions, watch the things they choose to do. Sometimes when they tell you, you gotta believe them too. The world keeps turning faster, everybody shouting to be heard. Leave strangers, friends and lovers, showing us exactly where they stand. Some build bridges, some build walls, some reach out, some walk away. And every choice they make today will shape another day. You don't need a crystal ball. You don't need a secret clue. Sometimes they're handing it to you. When they tell you believe them, don't turn your eyes away. The truth is often spoken long before the price is paid. Watch their words, watch their actions, Watch the things they choose to do. Sometimes when they tell you, you gotta believe them too. That don't mean fear every sentence or judge every soul you meet. But wisdom learns the difference between empty noise and repeated deeds. Watch the pattern, watch the trail. Watch what survives when the talking fails. When they tell you believe them, don't turn your eyes away. The truth is often spoken long before the price is paid. Watch their words, watch their actions, watch the things they choose to do. Sometimes when they tell you, you gotta believe them too. Sometimes when they tell you what they're gonna do, you gotta believe them. Listen to their words. Watch their actions. And remember, the warning often comes before the storm.
So, and like I said, the importance of that was to get that message across, and I thought that it was important to do that because, especially with the newcomers coming in, and, if we put these messages into lyric, a lot of times, they'll listen to a song and sometimes people will listen to it repetitively. And when they listen to it repetitively, they begin to understand it. Sharon, I use an outlaw country prompt for that, and it's basically because I want the I want the message to be clear, and I want it to be a warning, not a on a positive note kind of statement. I want it to be a warning, and I wanted it to be a warning, and that's the way that. But it took a lot of writing in different prompts in order to, because you have to pick the genre, you have to pick the, what type of music that's going to be, whether it's going to be pop, rock, country, so on and so forth. And then you've got the mode, okay, and the mode is generally the whether it's going to be a slow song, if it's going to be medium tempoed, whatever, and then you have to list the mood. Okay, so you got mode and mood. All right, and the mood is the emotion behind it, behind each part of it. And then of course it's the listing of the instruments that I want included in it, so on and so forth. So it's breaking it down and then listening to all the different versions is where I find the best. And I'll have to, for some songs I'll have to change the prompt. It's like the first one of the new song that we generated there, the on what happens when we look away. It had the female voice, but there was the children weren't there. The background vocal was just basically a vocalizer. Okay. But with the second one, we had a strong male vocal. And then instead of having grown-ups as backup, the kids were the backup. And that I think really made an impact in that. So it's having a couple of alternatives, but then go through the different styles, because sometimes, you take something from a jazz style to a blues style, and the message comes out totally different as to, how it's perceived. So, all right. So with that, guys, remember, God loves you. Jesus loves you. I love you. And we will see you guys again tomorrow. Not sure what time. I know I've got a lot of things on my plate. And I'm going to try and get as much of that done as I can. And let's, remember that God loves you. Jesus loves you. I love you. And I will see you guys again then. And in the meantime, always remember to
woke up this morning to a world on fire. Everybody shouting, climbing walls of wire. Fear on the TV, lies across the screen. Hard to know these days what anything means. But I hear my Father's voice down in my soul. Stand up straight, don't let the darkness take control. Love your neighbor, hold the line, stay alive. Open up your eyes and let your spirit drive. Don't let the noise pull you under. Don't lose your heart in the thunder. Keep your head on a swivel, keep your eyes on the light. There's still love in the middle of the fight tonight. When the road gets narrow and the world feels cold, keep your heart wide open and never let go. Keep your head on a swivel, but your soul on the rise. There's a whole lot of beauty still left in these eyes. Yeah, the world may shake, but we're not gonna break. We were born for more than survival. Little old lady waving from a porch swing. Kids on the sidewalk still learning to dream. Somebody praying in the middle of pain. Somebody dancing in the pouring rain. There's still good people helping strangers stand. Still working hard with calloused hands. Still holding family, still holding faith. Still finding hope when it all feels late. Don't let the fear define you. There's still a fire inside you. Keep your head on a swivel, keep your eyes on the light. There's still love in the middle of the fight tonight. When the road gets narrow and the world feels cold, keep your heart wide open and never let go. Keep your head on a swivel, but your soul on the rise. There's a whole lot of beauty still left in these eyes. Yeah, the world may shake, but we're not gonna break. We were born for more than survival. Oh, don't forget who you are. You were made from the dust and the stars. Oh, even when shadows fall, love is still the strongest thing of all. Keep your head on a swivel, don't lose your grace. Every scar tells a story, every soul has a place. And if somebody stumbles, you help them stand tall. That's the kind of strength that can heal us all. Keep your head on a swivel, keep your faith alive. There's still hope for tomorrow as long as we try. Yeah, the world may change, but love remains, and that's how we survive. Keep your head